peoples, Smudge here again with another special announcement from Monday Night Live. Stacy Lyn Harris will be our guest. A noted author, speaker, gardener, photographer, lawyer, beekeeper, TV personality, mother of 7. She'll be speaking at the upcoming Homesteaders of America conference in October. And with that, I'll leave you with a few pictures and let her tell you a little bit about herself. We'll see you Monday.
I love my life. Everything I need to sustain my heart and soul is right at my fingertips. I've always pushed myself to invent new ways to master the old ones, to refine ancient methods and explore new ones. And I kept notes. Today, 3 cookbooks and 7 children later, my fingernails are caked with chicken feed, hot glue, and Alabama clay. But my soul is full. My life truly has been blessed. Now, I want to share with you all the goodness I've learned along the way. So open your back door and turn to page 1. We've got lots of living to do.
Well, I'm being polite.
I know
they can't hear her.
No,
but
they
I'm being polite.
They can't hear her.
Right.
But they can hear you.
Yeah. No, they can't if I'm not speaking. And they're probably wondering why I'm not talking. Hi, folks. Tonight is an exciting night. We have great guests on every week. Tonight is extra special. Stacy Lyn Harris. I'll tell you, when she wrote back to me, I think it was on Facebook, and said, sure, I'll do it. Sounds like fun. I was floored. I went over, found Daryl, and was just like a little kid in a candy store. You never guess who's going to be on the show. We haven't set a date, but you never guess. It was awesome.
Well, and not a clue either.
Yeah. Like,
I'm supposed to just guess out of...
Well, yeah. That's supposed to be we're supposed to know this stuff. So, tonight we are having our regular $2 trivias, and then we also will be doing, let me find this, get this around these stupid trolls, her 101 Preserving book. And this is a cool little handbook. This has tomatillo sauce and red pepper jelly. Ooh, I love red pepper jelly over vodka cream cheese. Well, enough of me yapping. Let's bring Miss Stacy Lyn Harris into the public. And those of you that are going to the HOA in October, you'll see her there also. And she'll have her cookbooks for sale.
Hi, Stacy. How you doing? Say hi to everybody.
Hello. Hey, it's good to be here. Yeah, I'm so excited. This is really fun. I can't wait to answer questions and for us just to talk like we're just talking over coffee. Sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in Alabama.
I am. Yes.
Northern, southern?
We talked for a second earlier, and it feels like when you walk outside that you're going underwater. I mean, it's so humid right now. It's insane and really hot.
So are you in northern Alabama, southern Alabama?
No, I am in, well, south to mid. I'm in Montgomery, right outside Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay.
So, somewhere in the middle. We get enough of the moisture from the ocean, I think, and yet, we don't get as much wind. So it's really, really hot here. So it's a lot like Georgia in a way.
So you have quite a following of your own. You do TV shows and celebrity chef, and so, but you're a city girl.
Well, I grew up as a city girl. My mom raised me pretty much to make sure that I could fend on my own and stand on my own 2 feet. And so I went to law school and, pursued a law degree. But I married I married a guy that's really, really super smart. He hunts and fishes and loves to live off the land. And pretty much I had to adapt to that way of life. So yes, I was a city girl and now I'm not. Although my dad lived in the country and I didn't live with him. So I wasn't with him most of my growing up years, but it's really interesting because he has taught me a lot about gardening. I mean, he's gardened his whole life. So he and my grandmother, that's kind of where I got, I guess, the hankering to go and start gardening.
But a lot of the gardening, the canning, beekeeping, chickens, all this, that didn't come until you were married, I take it.
That's exactly right. Yes, I didn't even think about any of that until I got married. So yeah, but one of the things, we went to school, and I won't tell you what kind, because I think that's a trivia question later. But when we were there, we didn't have a whole lot of money. And so we already were eating what we harvested from the deer. I mean, when I say that my husband hunted, seriously, I mean, like, until we went to school, he was going every day, every morning, every afternoon. I mean, he hunts. And so like right now we will harvest about 13 deer a year. We hunt duck, we do the cooking. I wish he was in here. He didn't want to do it. I asked him if he would come on here with me, but he didn't want to. I knew he wasn't going to, but I thought, well, maybe, just maybe. But muzzle loaders. And so I love to shoot. So yes. And I actually killed my first deer on a television show, and it was Destination Whitetail. And I went out in the stand, and I don't like to be bored at all. And I get bored just like looking out. I know that I shouldn't, but I do sometimes. And so I didn't have to wait for but maybe 15 minutes. And I saw this amazing buck. And I really wasn't going to go for that one. I was going to wait. And, I didn't think one would walk out into the field. And when I saw that, and I was like, if he walks right to this spot, I'm taking him. And I did. And so I do hunt, but I let that rest with my husband and my kids. I really just like to cook it. That was a long answer, but
it sounds like you had had an easy time on your first year. I know people that at least as I was growing up, there were people went hunting all year. Well, I shouldn't say all year because there's seasons, obviously. But they would hunt for 3 or 4 years before they were able to obtain their first deer.
Yes. And my husband actually did not kill a deer for 5-6 years before he ever did, which to me means that you really love hunting. If you can wait that long for the prize, you must really love it. I don't think I would have been able to do that. So, I love the cooking part of it, but to go out there and to not harvest what you have been trying all year to do, or 2 or 3 or 4, would be really hard. And you have to have that, you have to have a love for it. And he has a passion for it like nobody's business. I don't know anybody that loves to hunt as much as he does. So, and except my boys. Some of my boys now are really, really loving it. So, and all 3 of my boys love to hunt, and my girls do too. But I just am surprised that they all 3 love it, you know, and we raised them on it, but you know, that doesn't always take, and I don't make my kids like anything. So, you know, it's just neat to me that they all have that in common and they all love it. So, yeah.
Well, Stacy, one of our moderators is out of the state of New York, and she is a beekeeper. That's her thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She's called, her YouTube name is the Bee Lady Apiary. But I understand you are also a beekeeper.
Yes, I am, but probably not nearly as successful as the Bee Lady Apiary. I loved it. And I still love it, but we have lost some of our hives to wax moths. And so we were able to bring them back, or you know, redo our hives, and it worked out pretty well, but it never has quite gotten back to that first year. The first year we were so successful. We had like gallons and gallons and gallons, and we actually harvested it 2 or 3 times that season, and were able to get tons of honey. The following years have been a little bit more slim, and it's been a little bit different. And I don't know if it's because, you know, I don't know if there's too much wooded area. They're right next to water. There's plenty of sun. I'm not really sure, but yes, we do beekeeping. So yeah, I can learn a few things for sure though. We're always learning.
So right now you live on a pretty good sized piece of property.
Well, we actually only live on a 7-acre piece of land, but we have property. We have a 1,000-acre piece that we just recently purchased, which is a very difficult decision, but I can't wait to see what we do out there. This is going to be really fun. And we have
she say 1,000 acres?
Another piece. What now?
Did you say 1,000 acres?
I did. Is that crazy? I mean, that seems so, you know, it just seems so impossible. But sometimes things are possible. And we never dreamed that it would, you know, we would ever be able to do that. And, you know, we're doing it. So it's a scary thing to do, but we are doing it. But we live on 7 acres, and it's surrounded by trees, and so we feel very, very private. But so we really farm on only about 1 acres of, you know, or 1 acre of land. We have, though, about 10 miles down the road, we have 300 acres where it's for sale right now, but we do have 300 acres, and that's where we also have kept our beehives. So they did pretty well out there, but we were keeping them here at the house because we have a pond, so there's water nearby. You know, but they do pretty good out, you know, out there. We moved them out there to see if they might do better out there. So well,
yeah. And obviously not to be nosy or anything, but with 1,000-acre tract of land, do you have plans to farm that, or is it all woods? Or
heck, she could give one to each, a few acres to each of her kids, and have her own little family commune going.
Yeah. Hey, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean that's where my head would be going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes. As a mama, we want that, and I'm trying to keep an open mind about the fact that some of my son-in-laws may not like to hunt and to be on land, and that makes me really sad because I want them all to come out there. But they might, you know, you never know. But having 4 girls, I you never know where the girls are going to end up. My boys really love it, so that's going to be, I think, pretty stable. But you never know the daughter-in-laws you might get. You know, you just really don't know. But yeah, it's got a lot of different. It's got a lot of different things. We like to tree farm. That's one of the things that we also do. So we've got some hardwoods on there that we are not going to tree farm and that we want to grow and really preserve that area. But we also have some pine trees and some pine plantation areas that we're going to harvest. And some of them right now are ready to thin. So we're going to do that. We're going to grow hay. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the tops of hay, those seeds, is a big business. And they'll pay you, I forgot how much per ton, and they are pretty heavy. And you can make a lot of money, a double crop, if you plant these. It's, I think, Bahia hay. But anyway, if you plant that, they come, they take the tops off, and then the other people that want the hay for their horses and for their cows and stuff, they'll come and they'll buy the rest of the hay. So we're going to do that kind of farming. We may get a few cows. I don't have any cows yet, but we may do that. And we already have a fruit plantation, or, fruit is planted out there already, a ton of trees. And at our other land, which is going to be really sad, we grew from seed or from transplanting or, whatever. We have a lot of fruit trees out there that I'm going to be so sad to leave. But we look at it as conserving the land, conservation, and also just managing the land and making it a better place than you found it. And so there's a lot, there's just a lot to be said in our minds for that. And so I'm happy to leave it to the next person to take care of.
Okay, well, I just kind of glanced at the chat here. I see Bee Lady has asked a question. Did she feed her bees during DERS, is what she says.
She's checking the spelling. She wasn't sure if that's how it was spelled.
I did feed them sugar water. Is that what she's asking? I did do that. And was that a bad thing or a good thing?
We'll find out in a minute.
Yeah, we'll find out in a minute. Because I'm sure she has heard you.
So I did. So, we'll see. Yeah. And, who knows? I don't have any clue. I'm thinking that maybe with the pine trees, we have a lot of pine trees out here, and maybe some pine beetles may have gotten in there, and maybe the hive wasn't as strong as it needed to be. And so they got in and infested it really quick. But it was like a week. It took only like a week, and our hive was destroyed. It was like the queen was gone and the honey was dripping out. They have the beautiful, perfect honeycombs, and you opened it and it was just dripping all out. And it was such a sad situation because you can't harvest that honey. So that was super sad, to me. A really bad day.
Okay. I was glancing back down through here, and apparently it is a good thing to feed them. Did I catch that right?
Okay.
Yeah. She said
yeah, and she's saying wax moths are very common in the South, and they are, and my neighbors across the street, they had the same problem with their hives, and I'm thinking that that's what did it. So yeah. And do you overwinter your hives? I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what that means, and that may mean that did I feed them during the off months or when the pollen's not out? Yeah, which we do. So I don't know, but anyway. Oh, she's saying, do the temps get really cold in the winter? Interestingly, that year they did, and so maybe that has something to do with it. I had not thought about that, but that year. We did not. We have some fruit trees in our backyard, which are, oh goodness, not loquat. Yeah, loquat trees. And it produces tons of fruit for us. And that year we didn't get any because it froze. It froze so hard that year. So maybe that had something to do with it. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm looking so forward to meeting everybody at, the homesteading conference in Virginia in October. I hope everybody, that's on here is going to come. I would love to meet everybody. So it'd be so much fun.
Well, I'm sure there's a few people in here that will be there anyway. You never can tell, but
yes. Well, I do. I hope so. It'll be a lot of fun to meet everybody. Yeah. So the bee lady is saying, You have to save some of their honey for them in the winter. Oh, and also put sugar in there. I didn't know that. Okay. Okay, now, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to check that out. I'm going to actually subscribe to her and watch some of her stuff and learn a little bit more. That'll be really great. So, I want to be a successful beekeeper. I think it's real important to have more and more people beekeeping. Just, we don't want to lose what we have, here in America. And I know with some of the way our crops are, I don't really know. Nobody really knows the cause for the die out of some of these bees, but we need to bring them back and, get this honey going. I mean, and here in the South, it tastes a little bit different, and I guess it's what they eat and all kinds of honey. I've been able to detect the difference in the way that it tastes, and that's been really, really fun in cooking. And, we have a lot of red clover around here. So there's a lot of red clover honey, and it's delicious. It's delicious.
So you also are what do they call it, chicken keeper? You have chickens.
I am, yeah. What now?
You have chickens, like 50 or so.
I do. We do. We have 50 chickens. And it's, that's been interesting. And, I did not plan that at all. But my husband and the boys, how that came about, and this has been years ago when they were really little, and my husband would do different projects with them, and my husband can build a lot of really great things, and they were out there building something, and I was like, what are y'all doing? And they're like, we're building a chicken tractor. We're going to get chickens. And I'm thinking, well, that's interesting, but I'm thinking, oh, yeah, that's never going to happen. And I just went back inside, and then I get this call at 6:30 in the morning, and they say, we've got a package at the post office for you, and it is very loud. And I was like, what in the world? So I got on my clothes, went up there, and picked it up, and it was chickens, and so little babies, and so the chicks were so adorable. So we made a little a little place for them on the front porch until they got big enough to go in that chicken tractor, and fed them, and boy, those things would grow. I mean, like double in size. Just about every day, it seemed like to me. And so soon enough, they were out in the little chicken tractor, and then we built a big chicken coop, and now, we're up to 50 chickens. And so, and it's a lot of fun, and the kids take turns going and getting the eggs, and, feeding them and watering them and feeding them scraps and letting them out of the pen so that they can forage in the garden when the garden's big enough. And I love the fact that you have this ecosystem working right here where you can use their manure for the chicken, for your composting pile, right. And you can use your scraps to feed them, and then let them go and get the bugs in the garden and feed off of those. And you've just got this awesome ecosystem right in your home. And since we homeschool, it's perfect for teaching about taking care of livestock, taking care of things, caring about animals, just caring about them. And respecting them and trying to give them what they need, and how the food cycle works, and how important and how much work food really is. And there's just so many things you can teach. Genetics. Amazing amounts of information that comes right from your homestead. It's amazing.
So have you homeschooled all of your children?
I have homeschooled them. My first one was a guinea pig, and I didn't want to send him to kindergarten, but I did. And it was a disaster. He did okay, but all he did was just look at the other kids the whole time he was there, and he didn't pay attention. And so his teacher was awesome. So it didn't have anything to do with his teacher or what he was taught or anything else. It's just, he wasn't interested in really learning when he was there. He just wanted to observe, I guess. So I wanted to homeschool, ever since my first one was 3 years old, and he is now in dental school. And I have another son that just graduated with an economics major, and both of them were summa cum laude of their class. And, both of them did really, really well, which I wasn't sure how they were going to do, because I don't homeschool like most people think of homeschool. And I didn't even really give tests the entire time. So I wanted them to love learning, and they had to take a test to get into school. But I gave them papers, and I made sure that they knew the material, but we didn't do a lot of tests. So, so it was really a trial. I mean, trial and error, and an experiment. But I felt like it was going to be a good experiment. I wouldn't have kept going with it if I didn't think it was working. So, so yeah. So we've homeschooled them all.
Well, we've been informed your biggest fan has joined the chat here.
Oh, who is this?
Some guy that sort of lives down your way.
Big Bear Homestead, Jason.
Oh, yay! Yes, he was. I did another live video for. Oh goodness, the name is escaping me. But anyway, it was so much fun, and I think he won my book.
That could be. That could be, but will be what, a demonstrator speaker or something at the Homesteaders of America conference as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh yes, I'm so excited he's on here. How fun.
Southern Mama's coffee
That's
break.
it. Southern. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. And I love that show. People need to watch that too. This is great. And y'all had Joel Salatin on, didn't you?
Yes,
we did.
Yes. Yeah,
he's awesome.
We
and
had
y'all had great people on your show.
I'm surprised Cherish isn't in the. I wonder if Cherish remembered. Tonight.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had Joel on.
Yeah, it would have been great. Yes. And I'm so glad you did win that. And hopefully he'll be there that Thursday. I'm going to be interviewing people on the Thursday during the workshops for the RFD show, Rural Heritage. And so I'll be there, going around and just checking everybody out, asking questions, and, and I think it's going to make a great show. So I'm super excited about that. And I'll have to make sure I stop by his booth. So I cannot wait to meet him. This is going to be so fun. Oh my gosh. So fun. I'm glad he's here today.
I'm going to make sure that I get my cookbook signed.
A trapping workshop. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, he had that last year.
He's going to be. Go ahead.
No, he'd had that last year. He did. It was really cool watching.
Yeah, I haven't been able to. I wasn't able to go last year. I had another speaking event, but my son traps. He used to. He hasn't done it in the past few years, so he will love it. He's going to be there, so he'll love going to the trapping part. That's going to be super fun. I'm so glad to know that. So Big Bear Homestead, I can't wait to see you. This is going to be super fun. So yeah, this is going to be great.
And isn't he in Alabama too? Where's he at? He's right below.
I think he's in Georgia.
Georgia.
Am I right?
He's in Georgia. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's right below Tennessee. So neighbors.
Yes. And see, he was one of the reasons I really remember him. He was in the military, or is in the military, and has done such a great service for our country. And when I wrote in the book at the beginning, I didn't. It was like nothing felt good enough to really write. And my dad was in Vietnam, and I know what he went through there, and several books have been written about his platoon, and it was really horrible what he went through. And just that these guys and women give their lives for this country. And I just want to give back to them, and I want to say what will reach to the heart of the person, to let them know how grateful that I am and how grateful most people in this country are for them. So I remember him, because of that.
Well, you just made his day, is what
Yeah.
Robin says.
Yeah.
That's his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, good. Well, Robin, good. Yay. Hello,
Yeah.
Robin.
yeah, they're a great couple. We've had the pleasure of knowing them for a couple of years now, and met up with them a few times.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, I can't wait to meet up with y'all. This is going to be super, super fun. So, yeah.
That's cool, Jason. That's cool that you put that in your book. Definitely something to keep. Well, it's 9:30. Why don't we do one of our trivias halfway
Okay.
through?
All right,
Give Stacy a chance to sit back and breathe.
just relax for a moment here. So let me cue this up.
And no, Jason, you can't start answering. You can't start guessing yet.
Okay, for those of you that might be new here, every week we ask a couple trivia questions. So whenever prizes are given, we have to have some sort of rules. And they are very simple. You can only win once every 4 weeks. You must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window as it is received and recorded on the stream here. That chat is embedded in the screen in front of you right now. So that is the official order chat. On your computer, it may be in a different order. And if you are the winner, please send us an email with your address. We ask you to do that within 48 hours to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. And you will receive back in the mail a genuine United States $2 bill. We all set? Has Jason cooled off, or is he still answering questions here? All right. What is Stacy's husband's profession? What does Stacy's husband do for money besides work like crazy and hunt like crazy?
He does do that now. And he builds like crazy. Any kind of project. I can just say
Wildflower Valley Farm.
Dentist. I think she's okay.
Okay, Wildflower Valley Farm. Please send us an email.
Oh yeah, that's why. Because she was a guest. That's why I knew the name. She was a guest, she didn't win one. That's cool.
Can't keep track of everybody
I
here.
know.
So, all right.
Yeah, just email us your address, and I will get them ready, and they will go out tomorrow.
All right. And I'll tell you what we'll do here. We'll go ahead and open up.
Alligator wrestler. There you go, BC. That'll work.
We'll open up
he
the.
would.
We'll
He
open
would
up
do
the
that. That's
open up the
right.
phone line here. If anybody would like to call in, I can only take one caller at a time.
See, Jason knew that, and he didn't want to.
The phone. So yeah.
Okay, we should be back. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, I
you
can
got
see
the phone
it,
number up. Okay. All right, folks, we apologize for that. We are good on this end.
They can hear us. Yeah, Country Girl says we're back.
Yeah, we haven't
we're
lost a beat here, but for some
Not
reason,
like that one night.
yeah, for some reason, we got to put all the blame on this one on YouTube.
Well, and Country Girl had issues last night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we are back. We did get the trivia in.
Yes.
And everybody got that.
Yes.
And in coming back now, we have the phone line open if anybody like to call. And since it's not ringing at this second, Stacy.
Well, yes.
So, wild game cooking is one of your specialties, correct?
It is. It is. Absolutely. I love it.
So, how did you, I'm going to say, learn the craft of wild game cooking coming from a
City
girl background?
Okay. Well, I actually loved making cakes and cookies and all of that. And I really didn't do a lot of cooking when I was growing up. Now, I love food and have always loved food. So my grandmother, she had the absolute best, tomato soup and vegetable soups. And she added this stew meat that was so incredibly tender to it, and just amazing food, potato salad, but everything was just really fresh. And she would go all the time either to the farmer's market, or she would get it out of her yard that she was growing. And she had a fig tree, and, she did all that kind of stuff. So from loving food, it made me want to start, cooking it when I was married. Plus I wanted to be a good wife, and I wanted to do the things that his mom had done. And she's a great cook, and she would cook that, full course meal where you have the fruit, the vegetables.
Okay, Stacy, I have a call coming in. This is Daryl.
Okay.
Who's calling, please?
I was waiting for it.
Stacy.
You got Jason.
Hey, Jason. Do you hear me, Jason?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's super. Can he hear me?
Yes.
Yes, he can.
Okay, yay. Well, I'm so glad to meet you. And I can say thank you in person now for what you've done for our country and for your trapping, because what you're doing by trapping is helping us to with land management, preserving the things that we need preserved. And I appreciate you doing that too. A lot of people I know probably give you trouble for that, but I know what you're doing, and I know that it works. So it's the very best way to manage land in some ways. So yeah. So I'm super happy to meet you.
I'm excited to meet you. What you wrote in that book really touched me, and I really appreciate it. And but my question for you is because one of the things that I really enjoyed in your book is you have a lot of wild game recipes and stuff like that, and we eat a lot of wild game here. But have you ever eaten beaver?
Well, I've eaten possum and not beaver, but I'm assuming beaver might be similar to possum, and it's a little greasy. Is that the case?
No, beaver is outstanding. How we cook possum is we'll load his stomach area up with a lot of vegetables and fruits, and then we bake it for a while, and then we'll scoop all those vegetables and stuff out of there. We throw the possum away, and then we eat the vegetables.
Oh,
but with
really?
a beaver, I mean, if you look up the nutritional facts of the beaver is even better for you than venison and beef.
I'll have to check
my
that
kids will
out.
My kids will take beaver over ice cream. We absolutely love it. We use it to make meatloaf, hamburgers. We make a pulled barbecued beaver out of the hindquarters.
Wow.
We take the loins off of the back, and then we make like tiny little breakfast steaks with them. I mean, it's phenomenal. I cannot keep. We go out of here on our homestead. We run out of beaver before we run out of pork, beef, fish, deer, anything.
Wow. That sounds like I've got to try that. We have a lot of beavers on our land too, and they're constantly stopping up, the flow of things. And my family will go out there and we'll bust up the beaver dams. And so really what we need to do is get some beaver.
There you go. Yep, you need to come to my class at the thing, and I'll show you how to catch them. I can catch them all day long. Matter of fact, I mean, that's like when I start my kids trapping, I start them young. It's like a family tradition. My wife asked my grandfather, the one who was the first one to ever really take me into the woods. She said, "Papa, when did you start taking Jason into the woods?" And he said, "When he was old enough to hold onto my boot, no better than to not let go." And,
that's exactly right.
And I do the same thing with my kids, and I start them out catching squirrels, and then they go from squirrels. They go to the coon cuff for raccoons and possums, and then they move into muskrats and beaver, because by then they're tall enough they won't drown in the swamp or anything. But they absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And there's no money in trapping in anymore unless you're doing the nuisance wildlife stuff. And then you got to deal with a lot of what you say, the people that give me a hard time about it. Yeah. But I've caught beaver that I've literally had to dispose of because the guy was out there with a 12 gauge with buckshot shooting it, and the beaver was all infected and suffering. I was so thankful that I was able to catch him and kill him quick. But you're absolutely right. Trapping is the number one resource for land management, predator control, and a whole bunch of things to just, keep things in balance. Yeah. Because I try to tell everybody, you don't see animals on any type of birth control.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're going to have population booms, whether you're talking about a wolf, beaver, or a deer. You're going to have those population booms to where they're going to start causing issues. Diseases will start to come out more. And you don't want those animals to suffer though either.
The deer that are around where they don't control the populations and they have diseases and growths all over them, it is really horrible. And to me, that is animal cruelty more so than trapping and controlling this, having dominion over the animals, and we've got to do that, or we're going to have diseased animals and we're not going to be able to eat, eventually. And people don't look at it that way, but it can happen. And it can happen even, with herds of cows. I mean, you talk about the wild animals out there. If they get out of control, they can come in and do that with farmers' animals too, not just the wild ones. So, I think you're doing a good thing.
Yeah, we absolutely love it here. It's a great time to spend with my kids. I started taking my son out on the trap line with me when he was 7, 8. My girls started earlier. Ladessa she's like my number one trapping buddy. She counts down the days until trapping season starts and hunting season starts. She's probably going to grow up and be a lot like you, because she loves being in the woods. And
yes.
So, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about the Homesteaders of America conference. Can't wait to meet you. Now that I opened up the floodgates, somebody else can call.
I hope they do, but I'm super excited. If they don't, you've made my night. And I will definitely be looking for you at the homesteading conference. And are you coming Thursday?
Yes, I'm doing a predator control in the homestead class, a hands-on class with trapping on Thursday, where people will not only get the experience of setting the traps, they're going to actually go home with some traps. We're going to supply some traps, and I'm going to have a booklet there for them. It's almost going to kind of be like a cheat sheet, where when they go back home and if they run into an issue where they start to lose chickens or something, that they'll be able to identify these predators through scat or through the tracks. And some other signs, like if they come into their chicken coop and the head and the chest cavity is gone, which guy did that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Wholesome Roos, I think, asked that is there, because she's in Georgia too, there is no closed season on trapping beaver. You don't need to have a permit anywhere in the state of Georgia to go after beavers. There's no closed season. We're overpopulated. Them, coyotes, and hogs. There's no closed season.
Well, so I know coyotes have gotten my chickens on several occasions. So, but I think, and I know if you're protecting in Alabama, I believe if you're protecting your animals, you can get rid of them, but I'm not exactly sure about that. I'll have to check into it, and I'll definitely look at the beaver situation.
Yeah, I think matter of fact, it depends on which county you're in. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that some counties in Alabama offer a bounty on the beavers. You take in one of their back feet, and you can get, yeah.
Well, that's something
but-
to know. Yeah, I'm going to check into that. I might have to write a blog post on that. That sounds like an
There you go.
interesting blog post. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you told me that.
Yep, no problem. If you
We'll
need
see.
any help getting those beavers, you just holler at me now.
I will.
I'll help you in any way I can.
Definitely will. Sounds great. Well, I'm glad
All
I got
right.
to talk
Y'all
to
have
you.
a good night.
Okay. And
Jason?
you too. You have a great one.
Jason, thank you for calling.
Take care, Jason.
Take care. We'll
Yes,
see you
sir.
soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Before we had the phone call, and I think it might have been B Lady, asked, what do you do to relax?
Oh, that is such a good question. I don't know. I don't even remember relaxing. I think from having 7 kids, I've always felt, I've always been on call, so to speak. And so I'm not sure that I ever completely get in a relaxed state. I wish that I did. I guess maybe when I'm sleeping, I don't know. But if I had, if I had to do something to relax, I like to watch movies. Yeah, that's what I do. But I think the reason that I like to watch movies is that it takes my mind off of all of these other things, because my mind is constantly spinning on what do I need to do, for this child? What is the menu for the week? How am I going to get that done? And, then I have all these ideas about my business, and I'm like, should I go in that direction? Should I write this book? Should I do this? And so I have this notebook of like ideas, and to be able to kind of get out of that, I have to be able to focus on something totally different. So I would say watching movies. The other thing I do every morning, I have to get my act together and my act straight. And since my kids are old enough now that I don't have to be in the room with them all the time, I will read my Bible and I pray in the morning. And that's what I do for like an hour, getting ready for the day and planning out what is the most important thing for me to do today. And I love that time, and I love it being so quiet. Although I hear the kids, but in my mind, I'm quiet. And so those two things are probably my favorite things to do. I like to hike and stuff too. So, hiking, but I don't always have the availability to do that. But a lot of times I do. And I exercise every day.
Well, I'm a little curious, Stacy. Obviously, all this stuff came from after you got married. So what came first? The writing, the land management, the gardening? I mean, what was your order of progression?
Okay, well, this is a good question, because it kind of goes back to, I didn't really love that Scott was a hunter. Okay, so I had a problem with it, actually. And I felt in competition in a way with it. And, for the first 2 years, I was really, it was very hard. And I decided I either better jump on board with this, or this is going to be a problem for the rest of my life. So I decided to really to bend with Scott and to become his helper and to become his person that enjoyed him and enjoyed who he is. And that's part of who he is. And it's a huge part of who he is. So the hunting is the first thing. Then we started gardening because we moved to a city and, we needed to have extra money and all. So the gardening came next. Then we actually were on vacation and I didn't start any of this writing until my youngest was born. She was like a year old or 2 years old. She's 8 now. So I've only been doing this like out in the open for like 6 years. I've been doing it for 20, something, but actually writing and doing it as a profession, I've only been doing it 6 years. And then I wrote a book because I wanted to help other women in my position. And I didn't want them to have to learn the hard way on how to cook this kind of meat, because it's not the same as beef, and it's not the same as lamb, and it's not the same as anything you're used to, or pork. And venison and wild duck and wild turkey is very different, and you cannot treat it the same as you do your domesticated, even, your domesticated ones that you keep, the, chickens. Wild things are just different. And so I started looking at old books and ancient methods. I had already been doing that. So I had done the research. I took notes all along the way. I had all these notes, all these recipes already compiled. And I wrote the first cookbook in like 3 months. And then it was ready. And there you go. And that's how it all started.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And something not even having to do with trapping or anything else, but J.D. Allison spotted the guitar in the background. Wants to know if you play music.
I do. I do more of the piano, which is really funny because I'm sitting at the piano now. Can you pick this song out? Does anybody know that song? Well, anyway, I'm sitting at the piano now. My son plays the guitar. I've always wanted to play the guitar, but I figure that I'll have plenty of time to learn in heaven. I don't know that I have time for that. I can play the mandolin, and I can pick out some songs on the violin, and it takes me a while, but I can do it. And I really think the arts are important. I think, especially in the homeschool mind, they say that when you do music, it activates the same part of the brain as math. So I think playing music does help math. And so I try to get my kids to do it, and I have everything available for them, whether it's art supplies or instruments, microscopes, whatever they need for their education. I have it. Whether or not I teach it to them, they usually can teach themselves a good bit, because I can never teach all of it because I don't know how to do all of it. But I think when it's available, they can learn anything.
Now, see, I can play piano, but I suck at math. 2 and 2 is 5 in my book.
Too.
Oh,
I know.
I'm terrible.
I did too, and really up until the age of 30, I didn't understand fractions, I don't think. But as I've been teaching school,
I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it now. It's amazing what I can do now with my brain being a little bit more mature and older. And so with school, I feel the same way. I think sometimes the kids are not quite ready for certain math. I'll let them, just not do it for a little while. As soon as I pick it back up, they caught up. Their brain's caught up, and then they're not discouraged. So, that's one of the beauties, I think, of homeschooling is that you can let them go on their own timetable. And I love that. And they're not lazy about it. It's not like they don't want to do it. Some of them don't love it, but they all know how important it is. So I've never really had any trouble, making them learn things. So they may have had trouble just because their brain wasn't ready, but they've all done fine. They've just been on different planes, and every one of them has been different to educate. So. Okay,
and somebody did try to call earlier. I wasn't able to get the phone answered, so if you'd like to try back, we can do that. So I don't know who it was.
I also see that somebody said that that they learned their math by cooking, and it does. It totally does all relate to cooking. All of those fractions and changing things from ounces to cups and all of that kind of stuff. It really, really does. It translates well. And to me, this is kind of crazy, but we built this house after a house from 1807. And it's actually a house that my husband's relatives lived in Mississippi. And so I love history because of this house, and learning what materials they used, why they built the houses like they did, what regions built what kind of houses and what style. So all of my history relates back to 1807. So, that was before this house. That was, 200 years before. This happened in Europe. This happened, and it's like a light bulb came on because there was something there that I already could focus around. And that cooking, you know, is a lot like that too with Matt.
Hello, this is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
Hi, it's Brown Coat Homestead.
Well, hi, Steve.
How you doing?
Real good.
Well, it's a pleasure and a joy to finally hear you in person. I've been enjoying your videos after I heard that you were going to be on with Daryl and Sherry, and it's nice to finally meet you.
Yay! I'm so glad to meet you too. This is great. I'm so glad you called in.
Yeah, I've enjoyed a lot of your little short cooking videos, and I saw that you haven't had much out for the past month, and I hope you start putting some more out. I've enjoyed everything I've seen so far.
Well, I sure do appreciate that, and I do have the segments that I do on the Sporting Chef Show. I should be putting them out soon, and I'll be putting those recipes up on the blog. But is there anything in particular that you want me to do, or that you like, and you want to see more of, or a different style, or anything? I'm curious before I start making more videos.
That's a good question. Get some answers.
You're
up
on.
here,
You're on the
folks.
spot here, Stephen.
Yeah, get your answer up here, folks, before she starts.
Yes.
What would you like
And
to
what
see
you
her
might
do,
like for me
Stephen?
to talk about. I mean, even if it isn't cooking, which I do love to cook, but even if it isn't cooking, what you want to know from me? What do you want from me? What would you like to see me do? And how can I improve what I'm doing?
Stephen, are you still here? I'm showing it's being connected, but I'm not hearing anything.
No. I can't hear anything either.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything, so.
He may have to write them. I want to talk to him, but
Wildflower Valley Farm is asking, how about some rabbit recipes?
that's a great idea. And I do have a great waffles,
Jason.
a rabbit and waffle recipe, which is really good. Here it is. It's my sage buttermilk waffles and fried rabbit recipe. Oh my gosh, it is so good with that honey butter. And it's in my Harvest cookbook. But I need to do a lot more rabbit recipes. So I'm thinking about writing. It's in the works. I don't know yet if I'm going to do this, but I'm thinking about writing another wild game cookbook and going into more depth in all the different areas of wild game. And so rabbit would be definitely with.
That sounds like a good idea. Jason,
Okay.
Jason says he doesn't know why we can't hear him.
Well, we can't hear
Yeah,
him.
Not Jason, Stephen. Oh, there, I heard him.
Stephen, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you able?
Okay. I don't know what happened. I could hear you every time you asked me something. But yeah, I just enjoy all your videos with you and your daughter cooking. They're just like a joy to watch.
Okay, good. I thought about this, and let me see what you think about this. Now, I don't know, because, you know, y'all are more of a, you know, I'm on the Homestead, you know, show right now, and so most of y'all are into homesteading, but would you like, I was thinking about this, of me having each one of my kids at some point come on and we cook their favorite meal together and we interact and talk to each other about different things while we're doing that, kind of like you're visiting. I'm thinking about having an informal kind of vibe going on, but really, you know, teaching how to cook their favorite meal. Would that be interesting, or would you rather me be more teaching?
I think so. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I think you're landing on some real good ideas there.
But only because our two youngest granddaughters, when they come over to visit, their thing is, are we going to do video, Nana? Are we going to cook? Oh yeah, they are so into it.
You know,
yeah, they're my little sous chef. They're my little sous chef.
You know,
so yeah,
I'm sitting here thinking, Stacy's probably about the same age as my daughter.
Yeah, Yeah. Let's not remind ourselves, Daryl.
So
I know, or remind me. You know, I never tell my age. I've always wondered, and you know, it's funny, you know, whenever you look on there to see what people have been searching, they always look for Stacy Lyn Harris age. It is so funny. And so I never say it. And so, but I figure people can guess. They can figure it out.
I have always said, and the 1 year increments each year, but I've always said I'm 21. Well, and this year I'm 21 and 43 years experience. The funny part is when people get this puzzled look in their face, and you know they're trying to add. It's not that hard to add the numbers together, folks. You know. And then my granddaughters say, "You can't be 21, Nan. Our dad's 31. That's not my fault." Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other question I wanted to ask was, do you think you will ever do goats?
You know, my husband and I have talked about it, and yes, I would love to do goats. The thing is that I hear that not only are they escape artists, but that they have to have, you know, especially if they're milk goats, you have to constantly milk them to keep their milk in production. And if we ever went out of town, I mean, I don't want to be under any more stress than I already am. I don't want to have to find a babysitter for the goats. So that would be my only thing. What do you think? What, do you have goats?
No, but the one person that does have the most knowledge that we know of is Rose from Wholesome Roots.
Our goat queen.
Okay.
Yep.
yeah, she's in the chat here, or was anyway.
Yep, she's our goat queen.
And she's down from your way too.
Yeah, she's in Georgia.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's awesome. And maybe there's something you can do. But it's an every day, twice a day ordeal, I believe. You know,
we don't
I'm
have
not
any.
sure.
We struggle to find a sitter for our dogs.
I know.
Yeah.
And see, I had one of my real city friends. We went to Kentucky about 2 weeks ago as a family. So we took the grandparents who usually keep all of our animals. And so she had to do it. One of my best friends, and she's like real citified. And she came out here and she was afraid to put her hand down in the chicken feed and and I mean, like, I'm like, things I never even dreamed of. And she was like, yeah. And I thought they were going to come attack me, and, you know, like geese do, you know, from time to time. And I was laughing. She was like, and I was afraid to do everything. And I never think about that, you know? And so I'm like, golly, to get somebody to keep goats. Could you imagine me trying to get her to go out there and get the milk from goats? That would be interesting. So yeah, I'd have to find somebody around here who, you know, I've often thought if I would love to have an assistant to help me with my social media and different things that I'm doing. And that person, I guess, would be a good person to do all of that. But then if you had an assistant, it'd be fun to take them along, and then they could film everything you were doing, and that would be fun too.
I guess I'm too far to volunteer for that position. It would take me a couple hours to get there.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I think it would be.
A good time.
Oh, I think it'd be great.
Okay,
I'm in for it.
Stephen, do you have any more questions?
That sounds like a great idea. If you're taking applications, sign me up for one. I do it for room and board.
There you go.
Oh, that'd be so fun. That would be great. I would love it. Oh, yeah, that'd be good. I'm just glad you called in.
Yeah, Stephen, we can just, they can term it as interns.
I know.
Well,
yeah.
it's a complete joy, as always. Thank you for joining them, and thank you, Sherry and Daryl, for always an incredible night.
Oh, you're welcome. If it wasn't for all of you, Stephen, this wouldn't be possible.
Okay, Stephen, thank you for calling.
I learned about more channels thanks to you, too.
So have we.
Thank you for calling, Stephen. Good to hear from you.
All right, you have a great night.
Okay, bye-bye.
It was great to talk to you.
Okay, let me...
Wholesome Wholesome Root said she needed an assistant too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rose is our goat queen. Truly is the goat queen.
Okay, Stacy, take a quick break here, and we will do the other trivia question.
Okay.
Okay, let me quickly go over the rules again here. You can only win once every 4 weeks. You must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window, as it is received and recorded on the stream here. That chat window is embedded into the screen so everybody can see it. And I see that Jason is already trying to come up with an answer, but it's not numbers, it's not a color. So, Jason, you just... And Daniel, it's not pancakes either. So, all right. If everybody's ready, this will be fun. Question number 2. 5 of the 9 people in Stacy's family are what? There's 9 in the family. 5 of them are what? Boys, kids, nope.
Brenda. Couldn't give it to Country Girl.
What? Where? I don't see it, hon.
Oh, okay.
I see dogs, girls, children, cats, turkeys, married, boys, ducks. Ah.
That's right. I'm sorry. No, just dawned on me.
I think Stacy's maybe going to have to win this one.
Turtles.
Hey, well, we could give some hints. We were talking about the brain, right. And there's 2 sides to the brain. And a lot of my kids are very creative. Did they get to hear that?
Yes.
Yes, they can hear you.
Okay. Right brain. Yeah. Let's see.
Keep on going with it,
They
Alan.
are artists. They are these things, but they're not autistic. No, thankfully.
Oh, there we go.
Yes,
Mary Smith.
Okay.
Mary Smith.
Yes.
Very good, Mary.
Yep.
Please send us an email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com, and we'll have you in the mail a $2 bill. Good job, Mary.
And only
congratulations. Very good.
Only because it's 10:10. Let's go ahead and do the book.
Let's do the book as well.
Yeah.
So let me slide this over. Okay, same rules apply to this one. This is going to be for the book. This is kind of an extra trivia question.
That's right, Jason.
So we'll just stick it up here. Name the 4 books, and I obviously was typing too fast. Stacy has written that are available on Amazon. Name the 4 books.
Sachi?
Yeah. Sorry, I was typing too fast. She has 4 books available on Amazon right now.
Okay, let's see.
So everybody...
Bring up that new tab.
Everybody's looking at Amazon.
Yeah.
Everybody go to Amazon. Wait a minute. Use our affiliate link, please, in the description.
Exactly. The Hobbit.
Pretty good, Daniel, but no, that's not it.
Now, Daniel, do I know you? I know Daniel, don't I? Or do I?
Daniel's from here in Ohio.
Okay, no, I don't know him. Okay. Maybe he'll come to the homesteading conference. I know another Daniel.
Terry Trotto, that's
Georgia.
one of the books. That is one of the books. There's 3 more books she has available on Amazon. And that's a pretty good hint. All you got to do is go to Amazon and look it up.
That's what she's doing. That's what you do it.
But good, they're getting familiar with my stuff.
Got it.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Do you not have all 4 of them in there?
Let's see.
I think we do.
Yeah, the Harvest Cookbook, cook fresh food every day for a year.
That's not one of the books.
Oh, Healthy Family Tracking?
That's not one of the books.
Okay. No, you're not, Daniel.
I saw that too. I'm reading everything. Did everybody stop? I'm not seeing it anymore.
Yeah, I'm not either. Then the 4 books that Stacy has written that are available on Amazon right now.
Country Girl got 3 of them about right, but there's one that's not right. Oh, good. Thanks to the V Lady Apiary for putting up some more channels. I appreciate that.
Well,
Possum pizza.
Oh, that has to be Brenda. I'm not even looking at the screen, and I know it's because she's the one who ordered possum pizza, remember? God.
Game and Garden, Cook Fresh Food, Timber Creek, and Harvest.
No.
Nope.
I think because, they're guessing. Terry has 3 out of the 4.
So you're declaring Terry?
Yeah.
All right.
I think so. I think that's fair to let her take.
Okay.
By all means.
That'll work.
That'll work for you, Stacy?
Terry?
Yeah.
Please send us an email.
That's awesome.
Cool.
And
thank you, Terry.
It just
she got it.
Yeah, never had a book so hard for a book on this show, have you?
It looks like Country Girl got them too, but I don't know if it's later.
And just so everybody can see, we'll do a quick little promo here. Here's her 4 books. So
yay, thank you.
Harvest Cookbook,
awesome.
Tracking the Outdoors in, Sustainable Living, and Wild Game.
Yes.
Wild Game Food for your family. Mm-hmm. So those are the 4 books that are currently on Amazon. Of course, in a couple more weeks, she may have 4 more, the way she works and stays busy.
Are you going to have all your cookbooks available in October at the conference?
I will.
So
yes.
bring money, folks.
Actually, Sustainable Living is out of, we're not printing any more of those, and I added a lot of that same stuff to my book Harvest. So I will have everything there that I have available. Yes. And my Preserving 101 isn't on that page, and I need to put that there, but it's just more of a handbook. But still, I need to put that on there. I guess I haven't done that yet. I forgot all about that.
I don't know how
So
you
yeah,
keep.
I'll have all that there.
I don't know how you keep track.
Yeah, from day to day, it's crazy. And then knowing, I think the hardest part is knowing what the next move is. You know, what's the next thing that I need to do? What do people want for me to do? And, you know, so that's kind of what I was asking a little bit earlier is, and I'm in that stage and I have several ideas. Well, a lot of ideas. And I'm like, which thing comes next? I'm not sure.
I'd like to ask, I'm a little hesitant, but I'm going to ask anyway here. Do you have an active law practice?
No. There is no way I could do that and this at the same time, because really I work a lot. Like, you know, I do kids, you know, all the way from morning until night, but in between, you know, I'm either, you know, formulating an email or a proposal or looking at a contract or, you know, making decisions about what I need to do.
She'll just be an attorney when she retires.
Yeah, that's right. And I would like to do that one day. But one of the reasons that I'm not doing that is that I can do this because this is my life. But if I was practicing law and I was doing, you know, that's somebody else's life and I'm like a huge part of it. And I don't want that kind of responsibility while I have my kids here at home. I need to be able to do something that I'm doing anyway. So I'm already cooking. It just takes a couple of more steps, you know, to take pictures and to write the recipe, but I'm already doing it. And I'm already gardening and I'm already keeping chickens and I'm already living that life. So it's a lot easier. But if I was in charge of whether somebody went to jail or not, or, you know, writing a contract that was, you know, almost life and death or wills and trusts and stuff like that, I would not be able to keep my focus, you know, on my kids and on my home. So no, I cannot do that right now. Now I do look at contracts for people, but I don't practice law.
Okay.
That's in my own house with my own family.
I just did not see how you could possibly have time to do that. It's something else that's not said very much. You were a model too. Yeah.
It's been a good thing because it's helped me promote. You know, I kind of know how to do that, and I'm not afraid, and it's easy, and I'm never nervous or anything getting on stage or TV, or I never ever get nervous. So I think that's been a big help in a lot of ways.
Well, I've had an absolute wonderful time. Sherry, what do you think?
I think it's been great.
Me too.
I know Jason enjoyed it.
So.
Yeah, I'm so happy. It made my day. Absolutely made my day. I got to talk to Jason and Stephen, and you know, it was a great time.
Stacy, I know that there's tons more we'd love to talk about, but I also know we've had you on for some time here, and we don't want to make this ridiculously long. So I guess we'll have to have another dinner date.
Yes, that would be loads of fun. I would love it. You know, whenever you would like me to do that, I'll be ready. And I'm somebody, Big Bear Homestead. I model for the Short and Fat store.
Oh my!
Oh my gosh! But yeah, we'll do it. We'll definitely have fun, and you know, hopefully we'll get a lot of callers, and you know, just to have a whole night of it. It'll be a lot of fun.
It'd be great. So I can't thank you enough for taking some time here this evening.
I've enjoyed it, and I know everyone here has.
It's been absolutely wonderful. I want to wish everybody a great week. Tomorrow night have the video editing class if anybody's interested. So other than that, what?
Yeah, Daryl is my in-home PC guru.
That's awesome. I need one of those too.
That's what his career was. was computers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think what we need is for y'all just to come and live next door, and then my life would be fulfilled because I would have my PC person, and then we could help each other out. That
Well,
would be
if this is an offer on that 1,000 acres,
a few,
yeah,
2 or 3
take care
acres.
of my goats.
Yeah, 2 or 3 acres would work. I mean, we're old. We don't need much.
I'm very much looking forward to meeting you in person.
Oh yeah, I can't
at the
wait.
conference.
Yes.
And
yeah, me too.
And I know that a number of the other people in the chat here are going to be there as well. We will also be in Michigan
next weekend.
Next weekend.
Yes.
Not this coming weekend, but next weekend.
Correct.
We'll be at the
Michigan Hootenanny.
The Michigan Hootenanny.
And in two weeks from then, we will be in Hannibal, Missouri. At Off Grid with Doug and Stacy's Life Conference, I think is what they're calling it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
So that's some of the stuff we have coming up. Thank you again so much, Stacy.
Jason, you are the best.
Well, I'm super excited. Thank you so much for having me on, and I can't wait until the next time.
So, everybody have a great week, and we will talk to you later.